This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, I can start this morning by saying brrr, because
man,
it is a little chilly. Winter, I'm looking out the window here, and it looks like winter has finally settled in on the valley of no sun today.
It probably
right?
should. It's only like January 17th.
It just looks cold looking out these windows. But good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Allen, along here with Dave Riccio, Dave Riccio, and you are listening to Bumper to Bumper Radio, as you should be doing every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. As always, we are here to help you with your car. Anything that's going on, whether you've got a question about the oil that's going in the car, the tires that are going on the car, repairs that need to be made, doesn't really matter. Anything you want to talk about, 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. If you like to text, you can do that at 411-923. And maybe I might be sneaking away if the kids want to see the snow, and maybe there's a lot of you out there doing the same thing. A little bit later on, we'll have some tips to make sure, help ensure. We can never make sure of anything.
Yeah.
We can certainly help.
Make the odds better.
We can certainly help and ensure that you have a good, safe trip and maybe avoid getting in the ditch. And then, Dave, you heard Tom introduce us. Auto repair gone wrong. Where's that start? I can think of all kinds of things, but it's got to start somewhere.
I think this week, and I was on the counter all week, and this week I think it happened with phone call pricing. That's what I would see in my shop, because I was answering the phone a lot this week, and answering the phone, and first question out of their mouth is, "Hey, how much for a timing belt and a water pump on a 01 Isuzu Rodeo?" And I started asking questions. Was your vehicle at shop? Yeah, it's at this shop, XYZ Auto Shop over here, and they're saying this, and it's gonna be $1,100. But I used you in the past. You fixed my transmission, so I thought I'd reach out and give you a call. I said, well, the price doesn't sound, I asked him how much. The price you're getting doesn't sound unreasonable, but if you want a second opinion, let me check it out. So we checked it out, get it over our shop, and guess what? Water pump wasn't leaking. It didn't need a water pump. It was a little hose up under the intake, and whether it was misdiagnosed or somebody wasn't being straightforward, I don't know. I don't know what's going through their mind. But the thing is he's on the phone making phone calls for something he doesn't even necessarily need. And
Right.
So when do you get a second opinion? When does it not sit right when you're at a shop? And I think there's a lot of people in our business that are honest. I think our business gets a bad rap. I do think there's some people that aren't very good at what they do. I think that happens.
Yeah.
Auto repair is difficult. And so, like I say, whether somebody misdiagnosed this car or was being mischievous, or overzealous on recommendations, I would call it that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but the phone call pricing. You had one in your shop where the guy was calling you for a price on motor mounts.
Yeah, well, and I think in your case, Dave, the guy, by calling you, it kind of going back with the warm, comfy blanket.
Mm-hmm.
He went to a place he didn't know, and it was daughter did or whatever happened. Then they come back to the comfort zone, and so the phone call in his case really saved him. Something maybe didn't seem right. He was at that Acme Auto, that's a nationwide deal, and whatever, and so he knew he was more in his comfort zone with you. So that phone call saved him. Mm-hmm. But there's these phone calls that don't save people, because sometimes when you go shopping for something, you end up buying it, right? and whether you need it or not. And so my case, I was working this week a little more too, and answering some phones, and a guy called and wanted to price some motor mounts. I identified he'd already been a customer before, but not with that car. But he wants motor mounts. His friend told him how to check them. His car runs rough, and so he's looking for a price. And again, people, why can't you give a price over the telephone? Well, there's so many moving parts. There's so much subjective going on there. So I since he'd been a customer, I entertained him a little bit. Okay, we'll look. Well, too many questions. We don't know. You can't get a price on the motor mounts without looking at the cars. Too many options. Bring it in. I check it out. It just in the parking lot. It doesn't need engine mounts.
Mm-hmm.
But so he thought he did because his friend told him something. But he didn't even think that this roughness that he was feeling could possibly, hello, did you see the check engine light on? Well, yeah. And so we start talking about that. So he's shopping for motor mounts, and you clearly didn't need them. And that the danger for a shop, for our reputation, is I'm just going to make up numbers. The car's got 4 motor mounts, and I say, okay, well, you want to price on motor mounts? They're $1,500. Oh, wow, that's a lot of money. So then he calls the next guy, because that's what we're doing. We're calling around. And maybe the next guy says, well, let me look at it. I'm just around the corner. Okay. Oh, yeah, you just need 2 motor mounts for $750. Now the perception is I'm double the price. So for us, that's why we don't want to do it. But again, no matter what price that guy got yesterday for motor mounts, it didn't matter because he didn't need them. I didn't see the final repair order. It ended up had a bad ignition coil. I think that car left for about $250 or less, less than what one motor mount would have cost. So it's dangerous to call around. I guess Dave, we have to make sure that our customers are in their comfort.
Let's just say he didn't talk to you and you guys didn't have this conversation, and he called, and let's say, he gets a price for $1,200 or for $1,500 or whatever it is, and he calls 3 places until he kind of gets an idea of what he thinks the price of this motor mount should be. He goes to that shop. They go ahead and they replace the motor mounts first. And then they call back to him, hey, we got your motor mounts all replaced. Did you know there was a check engine light on?
Right. Oh, yeah, I did. Well, what's that mean? Well, that's
now we got to look into that. So not only does he get motor mounts, he's still going to spend the $250 for the coil. He's going to spend the money anyway. But I think where auto repair starts wrong is because you want to get on the phone and you kind of want to be in the know, and I get it. It makes sense to me why you would want to know. You're like, I don't want to take it down there. What if it's what I don't afford, or I think they're charging too much? Then I'm kind of there and I'm committed, this, that, and the other. And so I think that's where the anxiety comes from. And I think the homework might be more upfront about who you're doing business with. I think that's where it starts rather than the price question. Price is always important. I'm not going to say it's not important, but even like I had a phone call yesterday on the timing belt. It was a Mazda Protege, and the guy said, hey, I want a price on a timing belt. And so what I did for him is I said, listen, there's a website called Repair Pal. You can put in the year, make, and model, and the price on there it gives me a range of somewhere between $500 and $600. He said, well, that's a big range. I said, it's not a big range when you consider auto repair, because when I call up to get a timing belt kit, they're going to price it to me 6 different ways. Well, do you want the gold? Do you want the black? Do you want the platinum?
Yeah, they're not all the same.
They're not all the same, right?
Hey, prime and grade A or beef, it's not all the same. Maybe
there's a lot of Me Too timing belt kits out there.
Organic vegetables are a little bit more than the other ones, but the ones covered in pesticide. But they're not all created equal. So you really need to make sure you are making that apples to apples comparison. So, Dave, when's the right time to get a second opinion? I had one. The guy was and this is what I will oftentimes ask people. I need to get a price on something. So my question is, sometimes I want to know, what makes you think you need that? So I will ask, is your car in a shop right now? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it is, and they're just trying to verify.
You just want something to bounce it off to make sure it's in the ballpark.
So then my next question is, well, how much? And then people are like, it's a big secret. I don't want to tell you. You'll change your price. No, I'm just trying, because if your car is at a shop and you're calling me, if I can judge, get a barometer of where the car is, what shop and how much, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, sounds about right.
Sounds reasonable.
Sounds reasonable. Just go there. I don't think you're going to find much of a 10% difference in repairs. But the other thing that I ask people, did you just take your car in for an oil change, or did you take it in because you had a problem? And to me, that differentiates. This gentleman had a leaky water pump, and he took it in because he had a running hot or a leak problem. That's different, I think. And so if you went in because you know you had a problem, not always is a second opinion the best idea or necessary. But if you went in and you didn't have anything, and then you've got this list of things and you don't have a relationship, if you don't know the questions, maybe that's the time to get a second opinion. If you can't get, like we do digital inspections. That's why we do that. You don't need a second opinion at Virginia Auto Service. We put everything on photographs. It's all there. You can see it, see it for yourself.
Well, the other thing that I see, so phone call pricing, that can be the beginning of a bad auto repair experience. The other thing that happens is your car will break at some point. Don't be surprised when it does. Maybe have a shop picked out ahead of time before it breaks, right. Okay? Because this car happened to end up at this other shop. It's a gentleman who lives in Idaho. His daughter's out here going to school. okay? So her car's steaming and doing all this stuff. She pulls in the closest, most convenient shop to where she's broken down at, which would seem like it makes sense.
It's reasonable.
But now we're at the shop, and we're like, it's something about this whole relationship. And people have instincts beyond just what we're teaching them. They say, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't smell right. It doesn't taste right. I'm going to call Dave because he did a great job on my transmission. So that's what happened. But pick out that shop ahead of time, and if you don't have a relationship with the shop and you don't want to do fast food auto repair, you got to have a relationship with the shop. Go pick one right now. Go to bumpertobumperradio.com. There's a list of great shops, all right? You can go there. It's a good place to start. Call one of them, make an appointment for an oil change, get a relationship started. And if they're not the right fit for you, I understand. You're going to pick something that works for you, In that way, you're not doing it in a hurry, in a panic. Now, my car's broken down. This guy's telling me it's going to be $1,500, and what choice do I have? My car's there, and it's broken down.
When you're forced to make a decision, oftentimes you make a bad decision. So I tell people, even if we get someone's car in and they say, oh, I just don't want to fix it, I'm just going to go buy a new car. Tell you what, sir, ma'am, Sally, Joe, whatever your name is, maybe you're just better off to fix the car because if I understand you don't want to spend $500,000, just whatever, pick your number. Mm-hmm. You probably would waste more money by making a rushed bad decision because you have to buy a car than if you shop and buy a car on your terms. So it's the same kind of thing. Be prepared.
Yes. Yeah, forethought. Proactive auto repair versus reactive. Anyhow, when we come back, we got open lines at 602-277-5827. 602-277 KTAR. We got Rick, Mike, and Chase. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus that carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Having an accident is stressful. Dealing with the repair process shouldn't be. Hi, Leo Petrozzella for Campus Body Salon. The right to choose a repair facility is yours, not the insurance company's. We work with all insurance companies, but we work for you. Campus Body Salon, Bumper to Bumper Radio approved and independently family owned and operated since 1973. Check out our Cash for Your Crash program where we pay you 10% off of your repair up to $1,000. Campus Body Salon, the best care in collision repair.
Music does so much for the psyche.
I'm glad they started singing because I was really afraid you were going to start singing.
I know. My wife makes fun of me because I make up words to everything. Anything that sounds close,
You'd get along with my wife very well because she sings a completely different song than what you're saying.
There's this one song, and I don't even know what they say, but I say, fun dip. And she's like, they're not saying fun dip. And I'm like, but it sounds like fun dip.
I think you do it probably more like me just to be annoying than really.
Yeah, partially. My son, too, we have a good time with it. Anyhow, welcome back to Bumper Radio. We're helping you with your car at 602-277-5827, 602-277 KTAR. We've got open lines, but we've got Chase, Rick, and it looks like we're going to go with Mike. tire inflation. Mike in Mesa, tire inflation question. How can we help you, Mike? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Thank you. I moved here from Seattle. God, has it been 18 years? And driving rush hour here the first time, I was waiting for the punchline. They listed 12 or so accidents with a couple of rollovers. So I asked a well-known mechanic here in town, what's with the rollover accidents? And he said, well, the main thing in the summer is tire inflation. People don't keep their tires inflated, and they grab and the car rolls. So he recommended running maximum air pressure in the tires during the summer, which I've been doing with no problem, but wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I don't know what he means by maximum air, but if he means that maximum rating on the side of the tire, I need to find him and talk to him. Because
you might know his number already.
But I believe in going with the manufacturer of the vehicle's recommendation for tire inflation. You're going to find that on the placard in the driver's door jamb, okay? It's going to say the front tire should be X amount and the rear tire should be X amount of pressure. 32, 35, whatever it may be, that number. And the other thing you want to make sure is that you're running the size of tire that came with the vehicle, because the size of tire is right there also. And I've got a car in my lot where there literally is 4 different tires on it. It's a I can't think of the PT Cruiser, something along that line, but it's all-wheel drive. And so it's at my shop spending a lot of money because they have different tires on the car all the way around.
The transfer case or transmission.
Exactly.
But, go ahead.
Making sure they're inflated properly to that placard number is great, but as soon as you take that thing up to maximum, that maximum number is not what you should be running. That maximum number is there as a safety type of thing.
Well, and if you read the tire, read that side of the tire, that's the maximum pressure at the maximum load. So if that tire is rated to carry 2,000 pounds, so there's 4 of them, so that car could hold 8,000 pounds.
Pretty good for you.
Yeah, I know. 2 times 4, add some zeros, carry them over. Anyway, 8,000 pounds. So anyway, that's not that Singapore math. I can't even do math with my kids. I mean, can't even
keep up with them.
It's a whole different way these days. But anyhow, you made me lose my train of thought there, Dave. The number on the side, that's maximum pressure, maximum load. So all that's saying is if you've got this tire, if you're going to really put 2,000 pounds of weight on this tire, the most pressure you can put in the tire is X PSI. That is not the setting for that car. There are some variations, when it's cold out, if I'm inflating my tires, I might go up a pound or 2 because I know we're going to drop a little bit at nighttime. But those are, I'm for the most part, 99%, I'm going to stick with what the sticker says. I don't care what anybody else
you start
says.
overinflating tires, you get a lot of wander and a lot of weird steering type sensations. And they don't handle as well in panic stops, so you want to go with the manufacturer of the vehicle's recommendation and run the right size tire on the car. So thanks for the call, Mike. 602-277-5827. Let's go with Rick in Phoenix. He's got a 2015 GMC 2500. How can we help you, Rick? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I'm calling about my truck. I run out of DEF fluid. It seems too often.
Did you say
just seem too low.
DEF fluid? Oh,
the diesel exhaust fluid.
Okay.
And so, anyway, I oftentimes go out to the truck stop and fill it up out there. And the truck drivers don't much care for me being in their lanes, but I do. And you have to open the hood to put the DEF fluid in. So anyway, long and short of it, I got a notice this week telling me that I needed to add DEF fluid on my dashboard. And so I went out there this morning and filled it up. But this time when the notice came on to tell me about DEF fluid, so too did my engine light, and it didn't typically come on. And so when that notice comes. And so I didn't think much about it. I thought maybe there was a software upgrade or something. The OnStar people sent me an email telling me my DEF fluid was low and it was going to limit my speed here soon. And so this morning I went out to the truck stop and filled it up, thinking that my engine light would go off after I filled it up. It didn't go off, so I went over to my dealer that I deal with regular, and I told them to hook it up to the computer and tell me what's going on. So anyway, they hook it up and they tell me that it's the DEF heater circuit 1 is in fault.
Okay.
And they clear the fault, and so we set up an appointment for later in the week, and they're going to fix it. But the reason I'm calling is I'm headed up to Flagstaff tomorrow, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if this DEF stuff can freeze, and I'm going to be in Flagstaff for 2 days, do I need to be worrying that heater circuit's out? Is that something I should be concerned about?
You know, Rick, I would probably double check with the dealer before you go up there. Talk to the service department, tell them what you've got going on. It may or may not be. You know, when it gets cold up there, it depends on how long the car sits for. Or can you garage it? Are you able to plug it and keep it warmed up? The DEF fluid itself, I do not believe freezes. Although it's possible. But you know what? For you and anybody else that's listening who has a diesel truck, February 17th, we're going to have Kurt's Auto Repair in here. They're one of the diesel specialists on Bumper to Bumper Radio. They're a Bosch service center. So is Automotive Diagnostic Specialties out in Chandler, another one of the Bumper to Bumper shops. So for all the diesel drivers, tune in February 17th, and we'll dig more into some of those diesel repairs. But you know, all kinds of things can cause weird problems on cars. The fluid getting consumed. I mean, at first I would say, well, is the tank leaking? I mean, there could be all kinds of things. I mean, we're putting that DEF fluid or the exhaust fluid in Mercedes-Benz at the shop a lot. BMWs. That, you know, we don't service a lot of the diesel trucks, but we service the diesel cars. You know, in our neighborhood in Central Phoenix. So,
you know, auto repair has changed so much over the last, I don't know, 15 years. It seems like, you know, like an hourglass. You know, when it gets kind of toward the end, it just really starts racing through there. And so that's the way it's going. It's going quick. So even stand up with that stuff. Anyhow, when we come back, we've got more open lines at 602-277-5827. We've got Lee, Chase, and Don. We'll be right back.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
The Waste Management Phoenix Open, presented by the Auction Indian Community, January 29th to February 4th. Get your tickets today at WMPhoenixOpen.com.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car, and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at TriCityTransmission.com or TempeAutoRepairShop.com. That's TempeAutoRepairShop.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
It's 11:30. I'm Tom Perumian. Here's our top story. Senate Majority Leader Republican Mitch McConnell laying blame for the government shutdown on Democrats as he spoke on the floor of the Senate less than an hour ago.
House of Representatives, the President, and a bipartisan majority of Republican and Democratic senators all agreed on a compromise bill that would have prevented a shutdown. Democratic leader instead chose to filibuster the bipartisan bill.
Both parties have been hurling blame at each other most of the day. The working-class immigrants of Montecito, California, suffered the biggest losses from the recent mudslides that killed at least 20 people, injured dozens, and damaged or destroyed hundreds of homes. Two Mexican gardeners, brothers Victor and Antonio Benitez, each lost a child. Antonio's wife was killed, and Victor's is missing. Now we get a check on traffic going to Mike Daniels in the KTAR Traffic Center.
Well, thank you, Tom. Loop 101 northbound right there at 90th Street. Disabled vehicle blocking the right lane at the end of the off-ramp. And we got a crash at Roosevelt and 51st Avenue to watch out for. This report brought to you by Smokey's Garage Door. Is your garage door squeaking, rattling, or just not working? The pros at Smokey's Garage Door will get you back on track fast. Get free estimates and same-day service available. Just click Smokey'sGarageDoor.com. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Mostly cloudy today with a slight chance of rain, highs in the upper 50s to around 60. We'll see overnight lows in the low 40s. It'll be clear and cool tomorrow, 61 the expected high on Sunday, and then 64 under cloudy skies on Monday. Right now, 54 degrees in Fountain Hills. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Tom Perumian on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Mac and Gatos are paying tribute to an exceptional Valley teacher each month with $1,000. Nominate that incredible teacher for a $1,000 pay raise, courtesy of KTAR News and Mac and Gatos by texting the word teacher to 411-923. Mac and Gatos pay tribute to a teacher. Text teacher to 411-923.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Wow!
It went in!
The Waste Management Phoenix Open, presented by the Auction Indian Community, January 29th to February 4th. Get your tickets today at WMPhoenixOpen.com.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio on this nippy January day. I'm Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are helping you with your cars at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTR. Just a bit, we're going to be telling you about some tips for safety if you're going to be driving up to get some snow, some powder, maybe a little tubing, a little sledding, little something or other. I remember my first trip, man. I almost ended up in the ditch.
Right?
So anyway, we've got Don, Chase, and Lee. We're going to go with Chase in Santan Valley. He's got a 1994 Ford Explorer. Chase, welcome to Bumper Radio. How can we help you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, so older vehicle, not too many miles, about 115,000. It overheats when idling. So while driving, have no issues, but when I'm stopped at a stoplight, the temperature slowly rises. I've done the regular, easy stuff as far as the radiator cap, flush the fluids, put fresh coolant in it, and I can't figure it out. On a day like today, doesn't have any issues, but when it warms up, while I'm sitting, it slowly starts to rise.
I would only drive it on cold January days, and you will have no problems with that.
Perfect. Problem solved.
Problem solved. But
next.
Anytime I'm thinking of that, I'm starting to think about the fan clutch on that car. When you're running down the road at 40 miles an hour, you got a 40-mile-an-hour breeze going through the radiator. When you're sitting still, if the fan is not pulling air like it should, you got zero air running through the radiator. So older vehicle, I'm thinking fan clutch could be an issue. The first thing that people do when they buy a fan clutch is they go down to Acme Auto Parts and they say, do you want the regular or the heavy duty? And you go, well, I live in Arizona. I'm going to get me the heavy duty. I'm not a fan of the heavy-duty fan clutch. I'm a fan of whatever fan clutch came with the vehicle, and because the vehicle was designed around that fan clutch. The differential gearing is part of that equation. The transmission is part of that equation. So just get the one that came with the vehicle will be the one for it. The other thing I think about, too, is as they get older, is that radiator's got a little sediment built in it over the years.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the bottom half of the radiator is restricted. That'd be something for sure I would be taking a look at. And the other thing is, I see it sometimes. People have their dog or their cat in the garage, or there's just oftentimes debris. So every time that car starts and that fan engages, it sucks up a bunch of stuff. So it's not uncommon to either have the condenser, which is in front of the radiator, be restricted or plugged up, restricting airflow. And it's not uncommon if you look, and sometimes you can pull a thing in between. There's a shield, and you can look down in between the condenser and the radiator. So you want to make sure there's no debris in there blocking that. You have the best fan clutch in the world, but if it can't move in the air, it's like trying to blow air through a closed window. It
doesn't work so well.
It doesn't work so well. And if you have a bunch of stuff in there, you can use air or water your hose and back wash it through. So probably not a bad idea to do anyway if you're going to put a new fan clutch. You're going to be down in there. So
yeah,
wash it out.
And there's all kinds of ways to test fan clutches that are like you can drill holes in the radiator shroud and put a thermostat in there, and you can get out the timing light and see if you get the speed of that fan. But usually, I look at them, I just grab them, feel if there's any good engagement.
Not with the engine running.
Not running.
Careful.
Not running.
There
engine off.
Things.
Grab it.
Always remember all those little fingers and these little these things that extend off your hand. You like those? You don't want those in the fan blades.
When you turn it off, it shouldn't keep spinning for 2 minutes. That's probably an indication it's not good. So anyhow, hope that helps you. Thanks for the call, Chase. 602-277-5827. Looks like we're going to go out to Lee in Arizona City. He's got a 2004 Pontiac Aztec. How can we help you, Lee? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, the hatchback keeps showing on the dashboard is open. Even I try to close it and did everything as possible. Keeps showing the light is open.
So there's a light on the dash. It says hatch or rear door or something like that.
Rear hatch is open. Yeah.
Does the is the interior dome light on all the time as well?
No.
No. Okay. It's probably something pretty simple. I mean, there's just going to be a switch or something in the latch mechanism that turns that light on to tell you, hey, it's open. It's a little odd that the dome light's not on though.
Yeah, usually I would think the dome light would be on. So.
Yeah, assuming the dome light works.
But the simplest is you'll find the switch. It just looks like a button. When the door shuts, it lands on that button and closes it. So you can locate that in the door jamb for the tailgate or for the hatch, and just push on it and see if that light goes off. That would be step number one. So, anyhow,
probably not the end of the world. So 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. That's how you get a hold of us. If you want to go to bumpertobumperradio.com, there's always a way to send us email and messages. And we don't always necessarily answer those emails because they come in by the gazillions, and we can't answer every single one of them.
He's exaggerating. We're not that popular.
Yeah, just maybe half a gazillion. So
bazillion maybe.
And so we'll answer those. A lot of times we'll use them for on-air topic. Maybe you want to recommend your auto repair shop to become a bumper-to-bumper radio shop. You can do that there. You can go to Facebook and like us. We like to get new friends every once in a while. So You can, and then there's the podcast. All the old shows are there. You can listen to those and go search your topic. And when we talk about stuff, you can call. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. You got a question, we're going to answer your question. But during the week, on the other 6 days a week that we're not here, you can check out and search those podcasts and maybe get some answers.
For sure. Let's go with Ken. It looks like it hasn't been. Not sure what Ken's calling about. How can we help you, Ken? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, yeah, good afternoon or good morning. Just a very general question. I have a 2012 Lincoln MKZ hybrid. It has 103,000 on it. Car's running generally great. Had the biggest thing I've ever had done to it was motor mounts about 15,000 miles ago. I am at a decision point where I have a nice full warranty on it till 125. What's the average lifespan of the hybrid batteries? When do those start giving trouble and all that?
I don't know that there's an average. I do know that Arizona, they just don't last as long as some of the others in other states in the Midwest. Dave, you've got some.
Well, we do have a shop. I mean, we do hybrid work at our shop. I know you do at your shop too, but we also got a shop that literally specializes in hybrid, and that's Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe. They're actually on the border of Tempe and Mesa. But the one thing that Glenn always tells me is that hybrids do good when you drive them a lot. The hybrid that sits most of the time, or it's just a back and forth the grocery store type hybrid. Mm-hmm. To really get the value out of a hybrid, it's got to be a car. That's why you see the cab companies using hybrids, because they're always running and they're getting their money's worth out of those batteries. So that's one thing that comes in.
And what happens is, I guess the battery is much like an engine. Over time, they just become less efficient. I mean, you can only bend that paper clip so many times before it finally breaks. So then, however they do the calculation of miles per kilowatt, or there's a similar mileage calculation, that just starts to deplete over time. And I think sometimes they can fix those. I know Good Works. I know ADS does the battery regeneration too. I'm not so sure if that's still the protocol now, or if they've got the experience to know how long those are going to work and what the real value is. But those batteries at times need to be reconditioned. And
well, the other part of his question is like, do I keep, if I'm going to have to do a big battery expense, do I want to keep this car much past the warranty? And I think that's kind of what's prompting the question. But let's just say he does spend $2,000-$3,000 on batteries, and I don't know off the top of my head what that car is going to cost. But, sales tax on a new vehicle is $3,000-$4,000. So if you like the car, because you're going through that decision-making process, how long do I hold on to this car? And you may say, no, I don't want to keep it. It's time for a new MKZ or something. But that's the kind of thing when people think about, because I think the modern car, in my mind, is if you take reasonable care of it, it's easily good for 200,000 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of batteries, even if they do need a big repair somewhere along the way, it's already paid for. I mean, you're money ahead driving that car.
Yeah, it's free money.
It's all about cost per mile.
Yeah, when you don't have a car payment, man, you are putting money in the bank every single month. I had a friend of mine last night over his place, and he was asking me about cars. He wants to get a little sports car later. He's like, but for now, I wait till the kids are out of high school and so on and so forth. He's got a Lexus. He goes, my Lexus only has 250,000 miles. I'm going to get it to 500,000. I was like, wow, that's really forward thinking. I mean, think about the type of money. If you're not chunking down, heck, I don't know. My last car payment was $700 a month, and that, I'm glad that's gone, and that's been gone for 3 or 4 years now. I'm driving my car a long time, but that's some serious. I don't care if it's $300 a month. It's all relative. You start putting $300 in the bank every month instead of into a car that depreciates. Fix the car. Save your money in the bank. You're going to end up at the end of any given period with a heck of a lot more money to do something. Your orange money. You've seen the commercials.
But if instead of making that $300 car payment, take $100 of that and set it aside for auto repair, so that you do have that.
Hey, real quick, snow.
Oh,
we want to talk about that when we come back. What do you want to do, Dave?
Well, I know my first trip to Flagstaff, and it was snowing up there, snow day. I remember I took my mom's Chrysler LeBaron, and I'm pulling into Flagstaff, and I'm hauling butt because I go fast all the time, right? And I got to hit the brakes, and the car just does not stop.
Yeah.
And it just starts spinning. I got no idea what I'm doing. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, but I wasn't so smart that day.
I used to live in Virginia, and I've hit the curb one time in the snow. I thought it was, I was only 16 or 17. I thought, look at this, man. I can spin my tires in my Volkswagen Rabbit. And sure enough, as soon as I break a little traction, what happens on that front wheel drive? Right turn right to the curb, clobbered the rack and the wheel. So I heard somebody say, if you're driving in the snow, pretend you just don't have any brakes. So what that is light on the gas, light on the brakes. Any sudden movements on a snowy condition, you're going to lose control. The car will skid just by letting off the gas sometimes. So just accelerate normal. Don't speed up too fast. Don't slow down too fast. Don't hit the brakes. Just because ABS, you have anti-lock brakes, doesn't mean the car is going to stop. There still has to be some friction between the tires and the ground. If you're kind of stuck in the snow and you're chugging through it, or you're going up a hill, don't stop. You want to carry some momentum. Don't just and then all of a sudden you got to stop. You might be dead in the water, so to speak. You just not moving. So just make sure you got some decent windshield wipers. A lot of the shops down here in the valley, we don't necessarily fill your windshield washer fluid with the antifreeze windshield washer fluid.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because it never freezes. So you might get up there and go to squirt your windshields and discover you don't have the antifreeze type washer fluid. And some of that you can't even buy in Maricopa County anymore. So you might have to get to that first gas station up north and top that off. So just those little things. Make sure you got good wiper blades. You got a cell phone. Make sure you got some snacks in the car. So if they close I-40 or close something, you're sitting there from an accident, you're just not going bonkers. The kids are screaming, driving you nuts, and you just want to get out and start walking. I mean, we don't want that. So that's my snow tips if you head north to go have some fun.
Don't be in a hurry and let common sense rule. Yeah. Anyhow, when we come back, we've got Eric and Emily, and maybe time for a couple more at 602-277-5827. You listen to Bumper Radio.
Having an accident is stressful. Dealing with the repair process shouldn't be. Hi, Leo Petrozella for Campus Body Salon. We've taken the stress out of collision repair since 1973, and here's a couple of tips to de-stress your repair. Make your own choice. Some insurance companies try to convince you that you must use their approved shop for your repair. Not true. Arizona state law allows you to choose the facility that's right for you. Beware of the cheapest estimate. Typically, it's the one from the insurance company cutting corners to trim costs or focusing on appearance only. At Campus Body Salon, appearance is important, but structural integrity and safety are even more critical. Campus Body Salon, independent, family-owned and operated, and bumper-to-bumper radio approved. Check out our Cash for Your Crash program, where we pay you 10% off of your repair up to $1,000. Campus Body Salon, the best care in collision repair.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
It's a little bit wet outside there, Matt. You go do some Brodies in the parking lot?
No, thank you. Hey, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, I guess everybody knows we're listening to Bumper Radio. We're here every Saturday at 11. You're Dave. I'm Matt. I mean, most of the people know that by now. But what I wanted to say, as you said, it's looking a little wet out there. We talked about driving in the snow, but you're still in town, too. Wait, didn't we have some good rain the other day? Didn't it really rain? I can't remember. So my point is, when you get just a little bit of water on the road when it hasn't rained in a while, that's horrible because what happens? It just lifts up that oil to the surface. It's right on top. And the roads here we know don't have great pitch to them, and the sewer systems aren't great because we're not accustomed to having a lot of water. So unless you want a dilute, you want a downpour that will wash the streets off. The most dangerous time on the roads is when it hasn't rained in a long time and you get a little bit of water. Very, very slippery. So, we know that about the snow going up north. That's a different situation. But remember that around town here, too. The roads are a little more slickery.
Yeah, they are a little more slickery. And the ABS, analog brake system, but it's been renamed the ability to brake and steer. That's what's nice about it. It's not going to stop the car necessarily, a slippery road, but you still steer because the tires are still rolling. So
go out in that wide open mall parking lot and just land on the brake pedal and really get a feeling of what it feels like, what that pedal does. The first time I had to engage analog brakes after I realized that I probably needed a new diaper, because it feels like the brake pedal's going to the floor, and you're like going, whoa, what do I do?
Yeah.
I'm letting off the brake, thinking I got to push the brake again. You just got to have faith in your analog brakes and just know that it feels like sometimes when you hit the brake, the car speeds up a little bit. I know you've had that.
It is weird. They do sell Scotchgard at the auto parts store for your driver's seat if you're going to go do that. So anyhow, let's go with Emily in Gilbert. She's got a 2015 Nissan Rogue or Ragu. How can we help you, Emily? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. So whenever I plug in a device, like to charge my phone or something, the fan on my AC, jumps up, way high. Even if I turn the fan off, it's still blowing at maximum capacity. And it will stop, but then periodically it will rev back up again.
So you're talking about the fan for the heater or the air conditioner, the interior fan, and you can affect the speed of that by simply plugging into the cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a weird one. I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking maybe her phone has got extra juice in it, like it's powering the whole car or something.
No.
It's going the other direction.
And we've tried, it's like different devices, my phone, my husband's phone, our daughter's Kindle. We've tried different cords and different plugs, like maybe we just got a cheap one, but it doesn't matter. It's like anything.
Did that car, when you get it, did it actually have a cigarette lighter too, the part that you put in the element, the heating element?
No.
Well, there's something backfeeding. There's maybe a ground issue or something there with that cigarette. What I was going to suggest is just put a heating element in it, push it in, see if that does the same thing. She already tried multiple cords. I was going to, sometimes those cheap aftermarket cords are not so good. We see things happen. They're blowing fuses all the time, Dave,
that is, you got a scratch in her head for sure.
Yeah,
so, whatever the answer is, because we don't know.
You have to
send us an email at bumpertobumperradio.com. Say, remember me? I'm Emily from Gilbert, and my cigarette lighter situation. Well, here's what it was. I really want to know because that's just too,
Yeah, the car's should have a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. So depending on when you purchase the car, it may still be under warranty. Other than that, if I was fixing that in my shop, Dave, I guess I'm going to get a wiring diagram out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the road map. And there's no magic computer to plug in. This is just straight knowledge, skills, and experience, and the ability to understand a wiring diagram and how electricity flows is going to be the fix for that. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say bad connection.
Bad connection.
I know we're going to find a bad ground or something, Emily. But fortunately, you're just going to have to go get it fixed. But please do let us know. We are curious.
I want to know what happens there.
Yeah.
That's a strange one. Let's go with Eric. He's got a 2016, looks like Toyota Sequoia. How can we help you, Eric? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You bet.
I have a quick question for you, and excuse my ignorance, but this Sequoia, it's relatively new for me. When I turn on a cold day, when I first start the car, the oil pressure shoots up past the mid-range, not, like halfway between the mid-range to the high. Is that normal for these things?
Yes. I mean, generally in the morning, the oil, when it's cold out, it's going to be thicker, and the pressure is going to come up because now it's like pumping peanut butter instead of pumping, something thinner.
Yeah.
So you're going to see the pressure jump up. As the oil comes up to operating temperature, it'll come back to what you think to be as normal. So that's pretty typical. And if it didn't do that, I would be more concerned. So,
yeah, and that's exactly what it does. Once the engine heats up and the oil heats up, it drops back down to the mid-range, and then I can start to breathe again.
Yeah, Eric, one of the other things too, that's a 2016. So,
right.
Some shops, they have their oil change special, and they just put maybe 1030 motor oil in every single car that comes in.
020 in that baby.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's what I was going to say 020 or 520 in the Sequoia, but probably 020 is what belongs in there. So if you went somewhere and you got a 520 or a 1030 or something like that, that could also cause that. Speaking of snow, we used to have people with the Chevrolet trucks, the Jims, those were one of the earlier ones that started taking 530. 1030 will work fine. It's only 5 more, right? 510, what's the difference?
210, 220, what's the difference?
So people get up north where it's cold, they start their car, it's rattling, it's not pumping the oil, or it'll blow a seal out or something like that because the pressure is so high. So just make sure too that they are using the correct motor oil in the car, the right weight.
One of the things that happens this time of year, Matt, when Barrett Jackson's in town, my shop fills up with old cars. I literally, we usually got 1 or 2 in my shop, but I think we got 6 old cars in my shop right now. I got a Cadillac. It's from the 60s. It's got literally 36,000 original miles on it. I think everybody kind of get the little fever, and I see them run around town today. Today I saw like 5 generations of Porsches driving down the street together. It was cool.
Yeah, speaking of Porsches, if anybody out there, I'm in the market for one. Don't say, Mr. Daddy Warbucks. I had the old poor man's Porsche, 914 when I was in high school, and I want another one. I think I'm having my midlife crisis or something.
If you got a POS, Matt's a sucker. He'll buy it from you.
So anybody's got a 914 2-liter out there, I am definitely interested. I know there's some at the Barrett Jackson, but they're a little richer for my blood, and I don't have a bidder's pass, but I tell you that now, unfortunately, with this weather that we got today, people that have those classics, they're not cruising those things. They're not doing it. There's too many yahoos out there on slick roads that think they have race cars. They're gonna, you don't want to get your classic car smashed up in the rain. That is for sure. But a lot of fun. Go out to the Barrett Jackson. It's all under tent. You can go out there. They've got cars. They've got all the memorabilia, the gas station signs, and all that funky little. They call it automobilia, I think it is. But most of it is undercover. On a not so nice day like today, you can go out there, spend a few bucks, and really, really see some cool stuff. And it's on TV too if you want to do that.
Well, we are glad you could join us. Thanks, Keegan, for running the dials, and Bree also for screening phone calls. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop, bumpertobumperradio.com. One of the things we're helping you with, auto repair gone wrong. We don't want that to happen to you, so you need to pick a shop ahead of time. Good place to do that, bumpertobumperradio.com. We'll see you next week.